Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to the Sounds of Coherency. So, recently, there's just been a crazy amount of things happening. It's just getting completely out of hand in the United States. A bodega worker was assaulted in New York, and in self defense, he ended up going to jail. And that whole situation raises a lot of questions, about why and everything else. But it's starting to force people to ask questions about why did he go to jail? Why are repeat offenders and criminals still on the street? And this is the thing. We've talked about this many times, but I think a lot of people didn't know what was happening in New York because the media was not telling people what policies were actually being changed. And they did a very, very distasteful thing by not truly explaining to people what was happening with New York's bail reform. They tried to paint it as this picture of, people just going out and stealing loaves of bread and stuff like that who can't afford to pay bail and shouldn't be sitting in Rikers Island for months and years for such simple offenses like that. And that's understandable. I get that. But that's just a small portion of it. And it's really, I don't know, I think it's really perverse, in my opinion, that they purposely hid what was actually going on. But before we get too far into that, let's just go ahead and watch a clip of what actually happened to this bodega worker, just so we can really put this into a perspective.
New York City bodega clerk is locked up in Rikers and charged with murder after he was forced to grab a knife and fend off a violent ex-con who assaulted him first. Watch this horrifying video. You see the career criminal Austin Simon right here storm behind the counter and violently shove the clerk, Jose Alba, a grandfather, to the floor. He gets up, he's grabbed again. That's when Alba grabs a knife and stabs and kills Austin. And now Alba is behind bars. His bail is set at $250,000, while violent criminals are released without any bail at all, courtesy of far-left Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. The New York Post calling it justice gone mad, insisting that self-defense isn't a crime, and writing in an op-ed that Bragg has turned this city upside down and it's time for him to go. Especially after his soft-on-crime policies keep giving breaks to the repeat offenders you're seeing now on your screen. As he downgraded the charges for these armed robbery and assault suspects. Kaylee, the list goes on. We have too many to literally name in this hour, but they include things like a LaRon Mack who had a rap sheet of 6 felony arrests, 65 misdemeanors, 31 failures to appear in court, and 2 parole violations. 2 women accused of attacking cops. The list...
Now, as I'm sure you could see from that, you literally got a pretty cut and dry case here. You have a woman whom has come to the store to use her EBT card. It has no money. The clerk would not let her have the bag of crisps for free. So what does she do? She goes to get her boyfriend. To do what? And this is... People can play it however they want and say that the bodega worker shouldn't have done what he did. I think you're absolutely insane if that's what's coming out of your mouth. But you got to ask yourself the major question. What did she go get him for? So as far as I'm concerned, she should be held account on some charges as well, because this whole situation could have been avoided if she didn't feel entitled to a bag of crisp. That she obviously didn't have the money, or let me rephrase that she obviously didn't have the taxpayer money to pay for. But she brings him there. He assaults the old man. And the old man doesn't know this guy from a hole in the wall. He's being assaulted behind the counter at his place of business. Again, let me repeat that. He is being assaulted by a rando stranger at his place of business. So the guy defends himself. The criminal dies. The district attorney arrests the man who was defending himself. Sets his bail at $250,000 originally. Second degree murder of charge. What happens next? Unfortunately, as far as I believe, they got it down to $50,000, and as far as I tell from the reports, he is out of jail right now, but he shouldn't have been in there to begin with. But now that everybody's filling up in arms and upset about this whole situation, about what's going on with these repeat offenders in New York and the crime, I feel it's a good time to once again go over what happened with New York's bail reform to kind of better help people understand how it got to this point. So let's just have a quick look at a couple of these so that we can better help you understand. So here is a list of things, crimes, which bail is barred. Judges are not allowed to set bail for these crimes as of what was passed in 2019. This is absolutely insane. So, aggravated assault upon a person less than 11 years old, aggravated vehicular assault, aggravated vehicular homicide causing the death of 2 or more persons while driving recklessly with a blood alcohol reading of 0.18 or above, arson in the 3rd degree, assault in the 3rd degree. What else do we have? Let's see. Children and drugs. Specified felony drug offenses involving children, including the use of a child to commit a controlled substance offense, and a criminal sale of controlled substance to a child. Oh, it gets even better. What else is there? What else is there? We have criminally negligent homicide. Directing a laser at an aircraft in the 1st degree, which means directing a laser with intent to interfere with safe travel and causing a significant change of course or serious disruption that threatens the physical safety of passengers or crew. Endangering the welfare of a child. Let's see. I'm going to keep going because I'm making a point here. These next few will probably explain why certain situations have gotten the way they've gotten in New York. Promoting an obscene sexual performance by a child. Promoting a sexual performance by a child, which means producing, directing, or promoting a sexual video involving children. Reckless assault of a child by a child daycare worker. Riots in the 1st degree. Tampering with a juror in the 1st degree. Unlawful imprisonment, i.e. kidnapping. This is just a small little portion of crimes that judges were barred from setting bail for. And keep that in mind when you hear the fact that this old man was arrested for self-defense. These are things that are opening people's eyes and driving them way to the other side. Those that were just sitting in the middle are going way over to the Republican side. They're just swimming their way over there. And the Democrats are literally pushing them. You know, people are waking up. But we'll see it continue to happen, and we will watch it begin this November. But again, keep in mind, these are the crimes, just a small list of crimes that there's no bail for. So when you keep hearing about these repeat offenders, how do they keep getting out? What's going on? This is why. This is why right here. And until we have somebody in office in New York that will change that for those citizens, this will continue to happen. But I thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.